I have a teacher. That's how I evaluate my manhood. That means in the game I'm interested in, he's at a whole other level. So that's why he's my teacher. It's not like I need to like him, or this is a detail. He's better than me at, it's not, you see, better than you is not the right word. He's more experienced or more advanced than me. You can say he's better, but I don't like the word better because it means he's better. And I don't believe in that. It's like, is a father better than his son or just more experienced? So that's why I don't like the word better, because it falls in that duality world of I'm better than you. And in the world that I'm interested in, everybody has technically the same capacity. It's just a question of where you're at in your learning process. So my teacher is not better than me, but he is. From an ego point of view, he can crush me. But he won't, because he's not better than me. He's just more experienced. And I have the same potential inside of myself. It's just not unfolded yet. And his job is to assist me, to help me, to help unfold it. And how does he assist me? Well, just that he's better than me. And that I'm really committed to the game, it's enough. It's like, and also, every time I reach a certain plateau, I'm like, I'm really good now. I can't ever convince myself, because I saw somebody better than me. Now, nobody may know. I know. I can get applause, so it keeps you humble. Because I know. Nobody knows. I know. That's all that matters. And that's why the word better, in a way, works also, because the ego is used to help you grow. But it's like, no, you can do, you do more. So it doesn't matter how much I'm doing and how great it is. That's possible still. I'm not doing that. So there's more for me to do. There's more for me to grow. And I want that. First of all, the masculine ego cannot accept that another person can do more than you, which is good. That means it's going to push you to grow. And if this is a healthy relationship, that's what he wants, because he's not stopping. So it's like, yeah, you catch up to me. In the meantime, I'll keep going, because he has his own teacher. It's an unbroken lineage or chain of ever-expandingness. There's no limit. The limit is the one that you decide that, well, I don't want to go more. I'm not talking about physical things here, because life is short. Let's say you live 100 years. Your peak physical prime is, let's say, from 19, 20, 25 to 35, 40. So physical prime doesn't mean anything. It's a moment in your life as a man or a woman. But that's not power. That's a form of power that you have, and it transforms into something else. What I'm talking about is an inner game. And that inner game can reflect itself in the outside world. It must reflect itself in the outside world, but it's not about strength, because strength is waning. It doesn't exclude it. When you're young, but you cannot use that as a parameter, because this is fleeting. So the game is about your nervous system being able to receive power. And that doesn't go down with age. If you're healthy, it increases. Your inner resilience to receive data and knowledge and power only grows with time if you're on that path. You don't get weaker, you get better. When you're 80 or 90, you're master. Even if the kid, he's 19 and he can lift 70 pounds or 70,000 pounds, this is just physical strength. It's great. You're young. You should. And now dig a hole, right? No, the game I'm talking about is a nervous system game. So anyways, what I'm trying to say is like, well, that's what a teacher is for. In my game, which is the game of knowledge and power, or whatever you want to call that. Tantra, yoga, I don't know. Let's not use these words that may confuse people. But the point is, that's what the teacher is for. There's multiple purposes for the teacher, but the main one is like, well, you can do that. If I didn't see that, how could I know? How can I imagine it? I had to see it. And I'm going to tell you the truth. My relationship, let's say there's 5 students who have the same teacher. What I see in the teacher is what my eyes see. The person next to me won't necessarily see that. It's the level I've understood the game. So because it's not flaunted, because we're not talking about an external, look at me, I can run fast. No, we're talking about an inner capacity that expresses itself on the outside. So you can use the external measures to evaluate, but this varies in time. There's some of the most powerful yogis who have never had any mission or are not known. So is the external parameter how you evaluate success? No, there's got to be more to it than that. So what I'm trying to tell you is that as you discover the game and it opens inside of you, then you start to understand the teacher better. You start to understand his capacities and how subtle they are and how good he is. And nobody knows. Nobody would know. You start to know because you're starting to discover this and you're like, oh, dude, you can do that. You fucker. You get a little smile, vanishing, and you just choose. You keep going, you don't. So anyways, not to get lost in all of this, maybe some people will not understand. You need a teacher. How can you now trust the teacher? That's the next question. These are sensitive questions. Well, in the world of animals, the teacher will never permit that you surpass him because he'll reach a plateau. In the world that that I'm speaking about, that there's something greater than the animal world. There is no limit. If it was my karma to be handicapped, I wouldn't have a limit. I'd have to learn the game in a particular kind of way, but that wouldn't matter. If I'm short, tall, strong, brown, orange, detail. If I'm from the ghetto or from the slums, or detail. Your setup is your setup and you start from there, but the game is the same. So what I'm trying to say is that in the cosmic game or the game of life, contrary to the game of society where, well, either you're super intelligent and now you're going to be reaching the top Elon Musk style, or you're like super strong and you'll be some kind of MMA dude. This is very precise and it's very bound to so-called genetics. Yeah, but it's like how many people have extreme genetics like this? Just a handful. Does that mean that success is only possible for a handful of people? Worldly success perhaps at this extent, sure. In the game of life, doesn't matter. So in the world, everybody is always scared to lose their place. We've covered this before. It's the animal kingdom. Like, no, I'm not going to let you try to take my place. If you're coming up and you're hungry and you got the skills, I'm going to make sure that you don't go up. I've lived it myself. It's nasty. What people do when you're coming up and you're hungry and you want it and you got the skills, the intelligence, the looks, the whole thing, people are going to do everything in their power to stop your way, and they're going to sabotage you and they're going to fuck you up if they can. So I've experienced it. Many of you have. You know exactly what I'm saying. In the game of life, I'm talking about a capital L, not bound to society, but not including it, but it is not anchored in it. That's not there. Your teacher wants you to grow because if he helps you grow, he's mastered teaching more. He wants to go up. And if he goes up, there's a vacancy, so you need to come here. There is no cap. In society, there's a cap. Depending on where you're at in the pyramid, remember that pyramid? There's a limit. And the person at the top is not going to let you go higher than him because he cannot necessarily go higher. There's scarcity. In the game of life, there is no scarcity. So in that social game, there's a bitch-assness where people are treacherous and will fuck each other up their asses to attain power. And it's necessary. Because there's not enough, there's scarcity, you have to eat somebody, and eventually somebody is going to want to eat you and will succeed. That's not how life works. I'm talking about life with a capital L, not just the animal kingdom played by humans. at a deeper level, at a grand understanding of life. It's like, no, that's not how it is. There's a current in which there is no limit. Anybody can grow as much as you like, but you still need a teacher, and that teacher is necessary because that's here. That's what you see, and that's what shows you, I can improve. I got a lot to learn. And that teacher doesn't want to hold you back. It's not in his advantage. It's like an MLM company. You know them multi-level marketing companies? You got like a couple of people under you. You need them to sell. The more they sell, the more money you make. In fact, at some point, you don't have to sell fuck all. They sell for you. So this is a basic example. It's like in the big game of life, everybody wants everybody to grow because the more they grow, the more you grow. It's one unit. And you want to go up to the next job or the next power position, that means somebody got to take your place. So you better train the person to be able to do that, etc., etc. Versus in the social game, that's not how it works. People hold on to their jobs or their position, and they don't want you to come close to it. They don't want you to threaten it. They don't want you to surpass them because there's not enough. So I hope that answers your question, but the point of what I'm trying to say is that in life you need a teacher. You definitely do. And the teacher don't necessarily come in the form that you expect. It's not necessarily the person you thought it would be. It's what it is. You know what I mean? It's what it is.